Flossstube. Welcome back to my channel. This is Stephanie, Ms. Ozo Crafty. Today is Monday, November 14th, I think. 13th, sorry. Okay, so it's been exactly 1 month since my last Flossstube video. Things have been kind of busy around here. Did a lot of sewing in October for my son's Halloween costume, which was just a crazy project. I'll show you some pics later. And he had fall break. He got sick a couple times, a couple like stomach sicknesses. It was just like, time flew. Anyway, but I have done a lot of stitching and let's get into it. So I have a finish. I've got a bunch of whips, a couple new starts, and I have a little bit of haul. So, all right, let's start with my finish, because after last video I had my stitching meetup and I worked on this project there, and then I finished it at home later. So this is I Am a Stitcher by Cherrywood Design Studio. Sorry. There we go. It's stitched on 36 count Edinburgh linen from Picture This Plus in the Haven colorway. Beautiful sky blue. I just love it. I did a color conversion on this and choosing my own colors. The pattern only calls for 4 colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 repeated, and then a 5th color for the background pattern, which is like a floral type thing with swirls and stuff, stems. But I decided to go more complicated than that. So each letter is each line is a unique color. They're all silks. If you want to know exactly which ones I used, I will refer you to my blog post on the project. I'll try to link it below. And general thoughts about this. Well, I had a devil of a time with this gold line here. It was hard to find a yellow that would stand out among the strong jewel tones, you know. And this one too, I wanted like a really pretty like apple limey green type thing, but same deal, it just looked a little too faint. So in the end, what I did is I backstitched those 2 lines. So I backstitched the gold in a high luster Krynic gold, and then I backstitched the A Talent No One Can Take with me with this color up here, this darker emerald. So that was great. It made it stand out enough that you can read it, you know, at normal viewing distance. When it's framed and hung on the wall, you'll be able to see what it says. And I really love how it turned out. I do kind of waffle over this last line a little bit, the I Am a Stitcher in the dark blue. I mean, it looks pretty, but I could have used a different blue there, maybe like Water Lily's Blueberry. I really love that color. I was just worried it was going to be too similar to this one up here, which is, that's Fiberlicious Filament Silk and Sapphire. This is actually Carrie's Creations Silk Floss and Sapphire. Completely different colors. Same name, different manufacturers, but I mean, you could go a lot of different directions with this one, you know, so it does look really good, I think, though, in the end. And I'm glad I did it on the 36 count so I could fit it on a smaller piece. I can't wait to frame it. I want to put like a silvery frame on there. And though the back stitching was kind of a pain, it took way longer than I thought it would. I'm glad that I did add the metallic on there, just because I love stitching metallic fibers. Well, I love how they look on my pieces, let's say. So it only seemed right to have a little bit of metallic on here. So it turned out well. And I suppose I will pass the stash, since it's an older pattern that I think is out of print. So look for that one coming up soon. And then after that, I worked on Fall Fairy by Dimensions Gold. I will insert a pic and what it looked like before. So this is stitched on 16 count light blue Aida. What I did is I finished this page over here, page 2, and what else did I do? Well, I added a little bit more of her skin just because I stitched her hand and I had some of the flesh tones left over on my needles, so I decided to do some of the neck and the face. I worked on this for 2 days, and that was enough to kind of like finish these little columns of the tree trunk and all that over there. And fill in all the ninja stitches, which there were a ton. So this is coming along. This is like the top half of the piece, although it does require an awful lot of back stitching. So I am actually planning to work on this for a couple days this month, starting today. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll back stitch a little bit, and then I'll get started on page 3, which is down here. This was originally a finish goal for this year. Obviously, it's nowhere near finished. I think I'll make it a finish goal for next year. And then, let's see, I started a new project on my Christmas village. This project is getting big and unwieldy. I've got felt on it because, well, to protect the beads and stuff as I roll it up in my scroll frame. And now the felt is sticking to the Velcro that I have on the top. Nice. This is stitched on 28 count Stormy Gray Jobelin by Witchell. There we go. See if I can clean up a little bit. So that's my new start. This is Apothecary by Mill Hill. I just did some of the DMC basically, didn't get around to beating it, didn't even finish with the DMC. I worked on this for 3 days, and I gridded down to here to start my new row. I was initially going to do the piece that goes over here. You can see the border's all done and everything, and it's gridded across the bottom, ready to go. Well, I started with the kit that I had planned for that section, which is Through the Woods. I will insert a pic. And I realized that the horse that's charted was going to come up to like here. It was going to look huge next to the bookseller. The scale was all wrong. So like, I can't do that. I took a look at all my like kits that involve people, and I realized that any of them and all of them might look kind of weird next to the building blocks just because the scales are off, perhaps, at least to my eye. So I had to change around my plans. I had 3 blocks with people planned. So Through the Woods, and then a caroling scene, and then a making of the snowman kind of scene. So I'm going to have to toss those or save them for something else and do like, well, get more buildings basically. So the deal with this is that I'm planning to do 3 rows of 4. And there are like 23 of them or something, 23 buildings. Well, not all buildings, a few of them are people blocks. So like, say around 20 buildings or 19 buildings or something that are available. So I definitely have other things to choose from, and I decided what I'm going to do is put the needle workshop over here, which I don't own yet. And I worked out what I'm going to do with the bottom, the 3rd row too, so I do plan to work on this more this month. I guess it's going to be next weekend, and hopefully I'll be able to finish the DMC on the Apothecary and then get started with the beading, do any like back stitch that's involved, and start the beading. I would like to stitch more of this snowflake border, which was like my addition, but either I used up all the Kreinik I bought, or I can't find the Kreinik that I stashed somewhere very safe. I don't know. I have ordered more though. So my plan for this, well, 4 buildings per year, and in January I plan to start like another 4 because it's going to be part of my year of whips for next year. So I'm just going to like grit across and put in a few stitches on each one or whatever. So I don't know. I haven't worked it out exactly what I'm going to do. I'm kind of planning on 9 new starts in January. We'll get more into that later. And then I worked on Winnie the Pooh for a couple days. I will insert a pic, what it's supposed to look like, and a pic of my previous progress. Well, I gave this 2 days, and I did about 1,800 stitches or something. Worked on over here, so I did the other half of his balloon, and then more of this greenery and a little bit of sky and stuff, and then you see right there where there's like a wing shape scooped out? That's going to be the owl, and that's all done over one. I also did this business over here. This is, you see those little bees in the tree? Swarm of bees? All that was done over one. I did that so I could claim a page finish on page 1 because I needed it for my Stitch from Stash credit. This is coming along. It's, you know, I mean, it's a big thing and it's full coverage, and I love working on it, but I don't really have any desire to like bust out a finish, you know? So I think what I'm going to do is just continue working on it a couple days a month at my current pace, and that won't be enough to finish next year. Should be enough to finish the year after. I will bring this out for a few days later this month and do some more on it. Winnie the Pooh. It's a kit from MCG Textiles, but I'm not using the kit floss, nor am I using the kit fabric. I'm just using the chart. The chart is really well done. Almost makes up for the rather shoddy materials that came in the kit. Alright, and then at the end of October, well, I finished my son's Halloween costume on the 30th, so I will insert a couple pics so you can see what I'm talking about. So it was a sewing pattern by Simplicity, 1945, if memory serves, and there was nothing simple about it. It had 45 steps or something. There was the suit, and then the mittens, and the headpiece, like the dino helmet, and there were embellishments and all the spikes and all that. Tons of polyfill in there. You had to like stuff the tail and stuff the spikes and stuff the gloves and stuff the toes. And it had shoe covers. The shoe covers were actually like my favorite part, I think. I thought those turned out really well with the individual toes and the claws and all that. And you know, as a reward for finishing that, you know, towards the end of the month, I decided to work a couple days on my Trick or Treat Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is the magazine, from the magazine, cross-section needlework. I'm stitching this on 32 count opalescent. You see that sparkle? What is the color? Midas Touch, I think, from Vintage Silk Weaver. What I did is I just stitched with 3371, so I finished off the hem of her skirt, and I did more of the, I did her waist and her bodice, basically, in that dark color. So, yeah, I think I might actually be almost done with the 3371 on this piece, so that would be cool. It was fun to stitch on. Really looking forward to finishing this one next year, I guess. Not really feeling the Halloween stuff anymore. So then we got into November. November is Merv Ember. This is the Stitch Along in the Mirror Mirror on the Wall group. And I decided to make a new start for it. So I'll try to figure out which way is right side up. Okay, so this is 28 count Monaco, hand dyed by me. And I worked on this for 3 days. I started up there, which was like the middle, and I worked down a little bit to the left. I did everything I could with like the regular DMC. Everything like over here is done in Kreinik, you know. This part up here, you can kind of see where that little cutout there, that's going to be her thumb and her fingers. So she's a big mermaid. She's going to be super sparkly. You see all the little holes in the stitching? That's for beads. And as I mentioned, there's going to be a ton of Kreinik on here. I'm really excited about this piece because I did a bead treasure conversion on it. Because I didn't fancy spending $150 for the Mill Hill stuff. So, and I'm thrilled with what I got. I can't wait to get to that stage so I can put it on this fabric. This fabric is, it's really difficult to like photograph. The color of it, it's a little bit darker here than what it appears. That's kind of, it's a little better maybe. It's definitely blue. There's nothing white about it. It's just, it gets kind of desaturated, I guess, with the digital photography. I love working on this piece, and it was so good to like do another mermaid. Last time I worked on a mermaid was Aphrodite, and I finished her. When did I finish her? I don't know, a long time ago, almost a year ago. So it was cool to get Enchanted started. I guess I should insert the photo, show you what it's supposed to look like. This is basically just like, this is her knee right here where her, well, what her knees would be if she had knees, so where her tail curls around. Or her, yeah. So I worked on Maiden and the Unicorn by Vermilion. I did give this a couple days in, yeah, I gave it 2 days in September, 3 days in October, or sorry, 2 days in October, 3 days in November this month, and I am going to do more this month. I'm hoping to get in another like 4 days. So I'll insert a pic in my previous progress. Here is my current progress. So this is stitched on 36 count linen, and the pattern is by Vermilion Stitchery. It's called Maiden and the Unicorn. What I did is I basically worked on this top border here, and I actually backstitched some of it. You see the difference between the backstitching on the right and the non-backstitched on the left? The backstitching really makes a huge difference on this piece, even though it takes forever. I'd say it took about 3 hours to backstitch. Well, I did this leaf over here and then over to there. All that took about 3 hours. So. And then I worked a little bit on her face. So there's a couple colors in there, and what a beautiful alien, huh? But I'm afraid she's going to look creepy for a while because I have enough now that I can kind of do the headpiece. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll add the eyes and the mouth and the nose and everything at the very end. And I do have quite a lot of stitches that I need to fill in with blending filament and floss. So like these moons up here in the flag, and like all the missing stitches in the flagpole, and some of the missing stitches on the unicorn's little harness, and a couple missing stitches in the mirror. Yeah, and I can't find my the right blending filament in my stash, so I have ordered more. Hopefully it will get here this month so I can do that. But we'll see. This is coming along. I should be able to finish it in December. It will be great to have this border finally done. I think when I take it out, later this month, I'm going to backstitch the rest of it up here. And then I can clean up all these parked threads. The reason why I have them parked is because because this thing is so like tiny, tiny stitches, right? Lots of fractionals. I can't really tell until I backstitch whether I've missed anything, because I'm looking at it very closely when I backstitch. Like just looking at it here, you're like, oh, you didn't miss anything, but chances are pretty high I missed at least a few stitches over here. So I'll be able to fill them in with whatever thread I have on the piece, and then I can clean it all up. No. Made in the Unicorn. It would be great to finish this. That's my oldest whip. Let's see, how about Titania? So I worked on Titania. I worked on her 5 days last month in October, and I worked on her, I think, 4 days this month in November. So talking about 9 days since last time. I will insert a pic, what it looked like before. This is stitched on 32 count opalescent Lugana in the Ametrine colorway by Vintage Silk Weaver, kind of a light peachy color. What I did since last time is I finished the wings, both of them. Lots of metallic in there. There's a pink Krynic, and then there's also the silver blending filament is cross-stitched as sort of a filler in the wings. That it was kind of a pain to do, but it's really a lovely kind of dynamic effect. And I stitched her arms, like the main color in her arms, and a little bit of like her hands and neck. I may have continued on this, but I ran out of this pink Krynic. So the pattern says you need 3 spools. I only had 1, so I've ordered more. But I did manage to finish all the Krynic on the wings and everything. So I think what I'll do when I take it out this month, well, I do want to finish her. I'm going to try to finish her this month. I'm not sure if that will be possible. I think I have like potential 6 days that I could work on her or something, so we'll see. And obviously I need more of this Krynic. The Krynic goes all around. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to backstitch the wings because they're all ready to go, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of the DMC in her face and her hair and her arms and all that. So that will be nice. She has a really beautiful face, I think. Among all the Mirabilias, hers is one of the prettiest in my opinion. My pink princess. Definitely coming along. Definitely getting for a finish this year. She is really beautiful. Alright. I don't like stitching on this fabric though. This 32 count opalescent Lugana. I feel like I frogged more on Titania than I have on like any other project that I can remember. It's just easy to like get off by a thread, or I don't know if it's the Lugana or the opalescence or whatever. The fabric just seems too dense, and I don't like stitching on it, but it is beautiful. So excuse me. So I worked on King Arthur's Court. I did it, well, 7 days total since last time. I will insert a pic and what it's supposed to look like. Okay, here we are. Here's my current progress. So what I did is I basically worked on the full coverage sections, the castle on the left and the ship on the right, sunrise, sunset. I did a little bit of the border over here and some of the little leaves and stuff going up on the border. Worked on the red, well, that's actually a flag. It's a flag that Lancelot is holding. You can kind of see the flagpole over here. So the flagpole goes up, 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 and then the flag itself drapes all over that tableau with the ship and the sunrise. So, yeah. This one, I did it, actually worked on this past weekend as like a stitch-a-thon, cross stitch finish line, and I managed to like bang out 3,000 stitches. Most of them are over here in the ship, and then I did a few like skin stitches in the hands, and I did a little bit in the castle, the yellow windows and stuff, which you can hardly see. This is coming along. Probably not going to finish it this year. There's just too much to do, too much detail and all that. I mean, I am pretty close to the top, but there's a long way to go. Lots of color changes, and then there's a lot of back stitching. I mean, not a lot of back stitching, fair amount of back stitching. There is a lot of gold metallic that needs to be done, so I'm probably going to regret leaving that all till the end, so maybe I should do it in like December or something. We shall see. I do plan to work on this next month in December. Give it, 5 days or a week or something. We'll see, but that won't be enough time to finish. It will definitely be a finishable for next year, though. This pattern is by DMC, a very old issue of Cross Stitch Collection magazine. King Arthur's Court. It's a lovely piece that involves like almost every color under the rainbow. Some fractional stitching. There's actually not that much fractional stitching charted, but there is a lot of back stitch that cuts like right through a stitch. So like, why not do a fractional, What's the point of doing all that back stitching if it's going to look messy in the end? That's my opinion anyway. And what else? I guess that's the last piece that I have to show you. That was quite a few, huh? We're 30 minutes in. So, let's see. How about stash enhancement? I ordered, well, Leslie from Under the Sea Fabric had a sale on the Flossstube, and I got these two. Let Freedom Ring, which, I love this chart. I think it's gorgeous, but it's massive. 311 by 238. I honestly don't know when I'm going to stitch it. Not anytime soon. And then I got this one, Halloween Quaker. This one is really nice. A lot of people are stitching this. 261 by 180. I like this a lot. Lately I just find myself kind of drawn to Quaker designs. I don't know why. I haven't really stitched any, but maybe I'll give this one a shot next year. It's stitched on 40 count Murky on a fat eighth. So I don't know. I've never stitched on 40 count, but I'm planning to ask for a light magnifier combo for Christmas, so maybe I'll be able to like see it or something with this. I don't know. I mean, I've stitched on 25 count, no problem, like 1/1. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it on that though. That'd be too small. I don't even know if I want to do it on 40 count. I guess the one advantage of doing it on 40 count is you can do 1/2. Uses less floss. says you can do 1 strand on 36 count as well, but I think that would be kind of like, I like, you know, good coverage, and I don't think the 1/2 1/36 count will quite cut it for me. I don't know about getting all the called for floss, the classic Colorworks. I looked at it and it would be like $20-some or more than that, just in floss, so I don't know. There are a few colors that I think are, you know, variegated that I may pick up, but I'm not going to buy the black or the dark brown, or I'll just use DMC for that. And then I got this one, Le Violoniste au Trèfle, the Shamrock Fiddler. This I got from a store called Arts and Designs in the UK. They had a really good price on this. It was like $12.50, which is considerably cheaper than I've ever seen it stateside. And they also have free shipping worldwide on charts, so that was cool. This piece is not that big. It's like 78 by 129, but it's kind of crazy. It has like 7 or 8 different instructions for back stitching, and it has embellishments. You see the little bells on them. And I think he's really cute. And I've never really stitched any like St. Patrick type thing, so I need to get to that. Maybe next year. And then I've wanted this for a long time. It's a stocking kit by Lucilla called Sugar Plum Fairy. I really like it. It's just an even weave, and it has lots of embellishments, sequins and pearls and beads and bows and all sorts of stuff. I think it's really cute. But it's out of print, and I wasn't willing to pay the inflated prices on eBay. But I found it. I was just like doing a Google search, you know, as I do periodically, and I found it at this store called Threadneedle Street for $17. It was half price. You can see it was $35 originally. That was the retail. And they had it for $17, so I snapped it up. They had one left. I don't know when or if I'm going to stitch this. I don't have like any real reason to stitch another stocking at the moment, but I just love this pattern, so I had to have it. And then the last thing I got was Bewitching Cross Stitch by Joan Elliott. This is another out of print one that I really wanted, but I wasn't willing to pay like $50 or $75 on eBay. I was doing an eBay search and I found this for $15. I snapped it up. So this one has like so many gorgeous patterns in it. Like, look at this. The Wizard. The Wizard one is cool because it actually comes with 4 different options for the cover design is really nice. Sorry. Crescent Moon, Dragon. I like that. Trying to get to the reason why I bought the book. Well, here's the Wizard, and you can see he's got like a castle in his crystal ball. There's different things you can put in there. There's a castle, a dragon, a unicorn, and a snowy owl, and they all look really nice. So you kind of get a clue of how they look over here. There's the owl and the unicorn and the castle and the dragon. So I don't even know which one I put in there. I kind of love them all. Let's see. Here it is. Celtic Wheel Pillow. Love that. It's got like the different Celtic holidays on there. And I just think it's really beautiful. The picture, of course, does it no justice. I saw it on Facebook, and it was really, really nice. So I want to stitch this one maybe next year. It's not that big. It's like 12 inches square. Let's see the stitch count. Celtic Wheel, 169 by 169. I really like this one. Black cat and a witch's studio. There's so many cool details in there. The broom, the key, the hat, little bottles, There's a mortar and pestle. There's a bell. There's a chalice. The window and the moon, and oh man, I just love everything about this design. And the black cat, of course. I think that's a really cool piece. There's a lot of just beautiful designs in here. It was such a bargain for 15 bucks. It really was. And it appears, the condition appears to be new too, so I almost feel kind of guilty. I think whoever was selling this just didn't really realize what they had. But I will definitely make good use of it. I'll probably stitch, well, I don't know how many things I'll get to before I die, but maybe the whole book. Okay, so that's the end of my haul. Okay, let's get into my plans for the rest of this month. So it's going to be kind of like a lot of short little rotations. So my plan is to spend 2 days on Fall Fairy, 4 days on Maiden and the Unicorn, 3 days on Apothecary, 2 days on Winnie the Pooh, and 4 days or possibly up to like 7 maybe on Titania. Whatever I can do to finish her, or at least get her as close to finished as I possibly can this month. That would be fun. And then in December, my plans are to focus on King Arthur, Maiden and the Unicorn, to finish it, and Charm Santa. So we haven't actually seen that one in a while. I think last time I worked on it was Christmas in July, so it'll be nice to work on him for a little bit. And then I also want to start Celtic Winter next month with a color conversion. So my goals for the rest of the year are basically to finish Titania, finish Maiden and the Unicorn, and finish Apothecary. And get Celtic Winter started. I guess that's pretty much it. And I think I should be able to do that in the remaining 6 weeks or whatever we have of the year. Another goal would be to finish Stitch from Stash in the black. I'm actually in the negative right now, so I think I'm going to try to bust out a finish this month. Perhaps I will try to finish page 1 on here. All I have to do is fill in her face, so that's no biggie, you know. And then I can declare page 1 a finish. And maybe I'll try to do all the back stitching on page 1 too. Or all the back stitching on page, I don't know. I'm going to try to do some back stitching, I guess. There's a lot of back stitching on this one, and I definitely don't want to leave it all to the end. She will be a finished goal next year. And as the year winds down and the new year starts, there's another year of WIP starting up on January 15th of next year. I have decided to participate with my friend Louise. She's doing 18 projects, and I've decided to do 18 projects. Some of them are going to be small pieces. For example, 4 of them will be like the Mill Hill Village ones. I'm going to have to make a bunch of starts in January because, well, if all goes according to plan, I'm only going to have like 8 WIPs to carry over into next year, so I'll need to, you know, start another like 9 or 10 or something, so. So this video is pretty long. I think what I'll do next time is I'll share my Christmas and winter pattern stash. That'll be fun. And of course, you know, whatever I manage to get to between now and then. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for the stitching. If you are interested in my knitting, I do have something to share. Let me move the camera. So this pattern is called Auburn, and it's by Cicely Glowick McDonald from the New England Knits book. I knitted in Knit 1, Crochet 2 Camelino, which is like a merino camel blend. In the color plum, took about 1,000 yards. Knit the 35-inch size. It took 2 weeks to knit in September 2011. So it hasn't actually, the yarn hasn't really held up all that well. I did a major depilling before I put it on for this video. And it is really nice and soft and snuggly though. I'll give you this. Side view, it has cute little puff sleeves. I like that. Back view has sort of a crop length on it, sort of a vintage style, and 3/4 length sleeves. And of course, the shawl collar. I love how the collar is done. It's just so warm and cozy, and I love the style of it. What did I say about it in my blog? So the shaping is done via central darts, which I don't know, you can't probably even see, but what that means basically is the shaping is on the front, not on the side seams. So the body's knit in the round. I started with a tubular cast on for 1x1 rib, which is the way I like to start ribbing because it looks nice. Tubular cast ons, especially for 1x1. The collar is like, it's knit separate, I think, and then it's basically a 1x1 scarf that you have to knit, and then you sew it on. I lift up my hair so you can see that's how the back collar looks. So it's folded over, nice and cozy. And there's a little bit of crochet or something, I think, here around the neck. It was a long time ago that I knit this. But it's a nice piece, nice and warm. Fall, nice piece for fall. So I do like it a lot. I love the color of the plum. And I love the little puff sleeves. I love the bracelet length for the sleeves, and I love the neck, the collar piece. All right, that's about it for me for today. I want to just say thank you so much to everybody for watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribes, who likes my videos, who leaves a comment. Honestly, the comments just, everyone brightens up my day, and I love to read them and respond to them. I try to respond to everyone. I don't always succeed, but I try. So thank you, everybody. It's so great being part of this Flossstube community, and I do want to try to film, more frequently, but we'll see. And I'm looking forward to doing like a vlog for next year for the Winter Olympic Challenge. That'll be nice. I haven't done a vlog in a while. I need to do a giveaway too, so I've been thinking about that, and I guess I'll probably announce the details next time. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching. Have a great November. Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. I hope you have a great meal and a wonderful nap. And I will see you guys soon. Ta-ta!